pain. Muscular discomfort entirely up to you. If you need to stop and have a little rest, a little stretch, to stop and rest, to stop and stretch, and then start again when you're ready to go again. Use your props, a band or a belt, a strap, and the ball or a cushion, a pillow that I can use instead. Same as usual, see if I can find that position to begin with that allows me to breathe a little bit more freely into the belly. So if I'm seated, to see if I can avoid that slouching position that is going to compress and create problems for the diaphragm, issues for the diaphragm to be able to ascend and descend and create that nice relaxed belly breathing. So see if I can sit up nice and tall, as much space into the belly as possible so that I can breathe into the belly. So softening the collarbones, relaxing the front of the chest to the front of the throat and the neck, feeling the belly expanding on the inhalation and then relaxing on the exhalation. If you're lying down, taking advantage of the mat, just relaxing down onto the mat, keeping the legs bent or straight, whichever works easier for your hips and back, allowing the arms to come down the side, encouraging the palms to turn and face up to the ceiling. Again, the front of the chest to open up. And then at the same time, as you're focusing on that nice relaxed belly breath, running the usual scan over the body. So feeling the pressure at the back of the body, comparing the pressure between the right and the left side, comparing the position of your arms, the position of your legs, the position of the head. I'm not trying to change anything. I'm just noticing where everything is and how I feel to begin with. As you feel the body's a little bit more settled, the breath feels a little bit more relaxed, then I'm going to start focusing on the leg. Working through the hip joint, I'm going to start off with a little out and in. Repeating on the same leg, I'm going to let the right leg open out to the side. And then I'm going to squeeze it back in again. If you're lying down, check that as the leg opens to the side, your hip stays on the ground. So the weight of the leg is not twisting me, it's not pulling me in that direction. I'm trying to keep my hips steady and then just move the leg into the hip socket. If you're seated, I might find that in the movement, whichever direction, out or back, the leg feels a bit temperamental, so it doesn't really want to go there. So if that's the case, I'm just going to use the hand to guide the leg out, and then I might need to use the hand to bring it back. So picturing the top of the leg moving easily into the hip socket, nothing is pinching, nothing is grinding, it feels relaxed. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Easing the leg back to the middle, grabbing hold of the ball or the cushion, and then put it between the knees. And then before moving on to the other side, I'm going to try and see if I can activate a little bit more through the inner thigh. I'm going to squeeze into the ball as hard as I can, as if I was trying to pop it. And then I'm just going to ease the pressure. So I'm going to squeeze hard into the ball and then ease the pressure. As you squeeze into the ball, as you're using both legs at the same time, notice if there is a difference in tension or in feel between the right and the left inner thigh. So I might find that I can feel that my right side really seems to be clumping and tensing, the left side doesn't feel the same, or vice versa. I'm going to focus on the side that doesn't feel as if it's connecting that well. See if I can improve that connection on that side. Same as I did for the opening and closing, even using the hand to help me guide the leg in the direction I wanted to go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and easing back. Then moving the ball out of the way, and then I'm going to focus on the left side. So same as I did on the right, I want the left leg to open out as far as I can, and then I'm going to bring it back in again. Little movement, a big movement is whatever the hip will allow me to. Guiding the leg, using the hand. If I feel that the movement feels a bit stiff, or the leg is struggling a little bit with the direction. And then same as before, if I'm lying down, making sure that the leg opens to the side, the hips are not following through, so I'm not twisting in that direction. See if I can hold the stable through the hips and just move the leg. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then easing back. Returning the legs back into the starting position. I'm going to grab hold of the ball again or the pillow, pop it between the knees. This time, instead of squeezing and releasing, I'm trying to go for faster squeezes. So I'm going to do 10 really faster squeezes, and then I'm going to hold for 10 seconds, 10 counts. Then 10 faster squeezes, and then hold for 10 counts. We're going to do 3 rounds. So I'm going to start squeezing into the ball, nice and quick as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'm going to hold there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then I'm going to squeeze fast. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Hold there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. One more time, nice and fast. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Hold there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And release. Relaxing the leg, giving the inner thighs a little bit of a rub. And then I'm going to change the direction of the effort. Instead of opening and closing, this time I'm going to try and lift and lower. So I'm going to focus on the right leg again, starting on that side. I'm going to lift to the right foot, and then I'm going to bring the leg up. Then ease it back down, and then I'm going to lift again. Same as usual, if the leg is a bit temperamental, so I feel that I can't get it to lift up, I might use the band, the strap, to help me guide the leg, to help me support the legs. I might put the band around the back of the leg so that I can use the arms to guide the leg into that little lift and then coming down. So same as you did for the opening and closing. Think of the top of the leg moving into the hip socket. So see if I can try and release some of the stiffness, some of the tension that might be locking the hip joint. See if I can keep it smooth. If you're seated, or whether you're seated or laying down, you might find that you can barely lift the foot off the ground. It doesn't matter. Just to see if I can find the little movement of feeling that tension at the front of the hip, those muscles twitching and clumping, trying to create that little lift. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and easing down, relaxing the right leg, the right hip. I'm going to try the same thing with the left side. So switching the band around at the left leg, or using the hand. If you're seated, you can even reach with your hands around the leg. And then see if I can encourage a little lifting and lowering on this side. So noticing how the movement feels on this side. One leg is better than the other. So I might find that on this side I can lift smoothly, or it's a little bit jumpy, or I feel that I'm really struggling to get the leg to move. Small movement, assist it if I need to. See if I can be aware of the tension into the front of the hip, helping me to pull the leg up. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and easing back, relaxing into the hip, relaxing into the leg, and then I'm going to see if I can try and connect a little bit more. So grabbing hold of the cushion or grabbing hold of the ball, especially if you're lying down, just to reach with your hands, it's a little bit too far. You might end up straining the shoulder or the neck. If I'm seated, the leg is closer to me, so I can use the hands directly over the thigh. If I want to, I can use the cushions in between the thigh and the hands. I'm going to place the ball between the left thigh and one hand or both hands. With the hands, I'm going to push away, and then with the leg, I'm going to squeeze into the ball. So I'm going to try and squash the ball between the hands and the leg. So I'm going to try and squeeze up with the leg and then push away with the arms. Then release, and then again, I'm going to squeeze up with the leg, push away with the arms, and release. So the leg is not actually moving, but what I should be feeling as I try to create that pressure, it's a stronger connection into the front of the hip and into the front of the belly. Those muscles locking together to create the resistance between the arms and the leg. 5, 4, 3, 2. Last one, I want you to hold the tension. Try to lift the leg up against the pressure of the hands, and then with the hands, and see if you can push down on the leg. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and release. Relaxing the hip, releasing the leg, switching to the other side. So left side, I'm going to place the ball between the left leg and the hands, and then I'm going to start to squeezing the ball between the thigh and the hands. So trying to pull the foot off the ground and then push away with the hands. Pull the foot off the ground and then push away with the hands. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then last one, I'm going to hold the tension. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and release. Relaxing the leg, releasing the hip, pushing the ball, pushing the cushion to one side. If you're seated, walk the feet a little bit closer to the chair. Comfortable distance, and then I'm going to work in reverse. I want the tension into the back of the hip this time. So I'm going to lean forward into the legs. I'm going to push down through the feet and squeeze with the back of the hips as if I was trying to stand off the chair. And then I'm just going to sit back down. So if you can lift just a little bit, go for the little lift. So see if I can transfer the weight onto my legs, and then I'm going to drop back onto the chair again. If I feel that I can't lift, it doesn't matter. I'm going to try pushing through the feet, to squeeze in with the back of the bum, see if I can try and get into that lift. If you're lying down, I'm going to bridge my way up. So the feet about the hips width apart. I'm going to push down through the soles of the feet to squeeze with the back of the hips to the back of the bum, see if I can get the lift into the hips. The rib cage is staying soft, the belly still connected. I'm going to ease the hips back, and then I'm going to squeeze them up again. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then last one, 10. And releasing back, relaxing the legs, releasing through the hips. It's a little bit more movement, a little bit more connection around the hip joint. I'm going to start focusing on the shoulder instead. So allowing the arms to relax by the side, one arm at a time. I'm going to start raising the arm up in front of me. I'm going to reach as far up, as far back as I can. And then as the arm comes down, I'm going to switch over and then do the other side. Same as usual, if I'm lying down, it's easier as I'm working with gravity. So I might be able to go for a nice big movement. If I'm seated, I'm working against the gravity, so the arm feels quite heavy. Just make sure that you're not shrugging the shoulders to get the arm to lift higher. So I'm not creating tension into the neck to get the arm to lift more. So if you can see if I can keep the shoulders down and relaxed. So smaller lift. Especially if I feel that maybe one shoulder feels a bit sore, a bit painful, I'm just going to keep the movement small on that side, and then I might go big on the other side. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And releasing back, relaxing the shoulders, releasing the arms, and now try both arms together. So I'm going to raise them together up and towards the ceiling. If I know that one shoulder doesn't feel that great today, then I'm going to follow that side. So I don't want to create pain. So I'm going to make my movement a little bit smaller on the other side too, so that both arms can move in sync and there is no pain in the shoulders. The neck feels loose, so as the arms reach the top of the lift, it still feels easy to kind of like look around. It doesn't feel as if the neck is kind of like locked in between the shoulders and doesn't have anywhere to go. So keeping it loose, keeping it relaxed. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And releasing down, relaxing the shoulders, relaxing the arms, and then I'm going to change the direction of the movement. Still working, going back, working with a single arm. I'm going to go for a lateral raise. So I'm going to turn the palm to face away, and then scooping the arm around to the side. I'm going to bring it towards the head. Then I'm going to return it back and then scoop round with the other and then bring it up. Same as usual, I'm trying to keep it as close to the side as possible. So if I'm laying down, as close to the floor as possible. But that depends on the shoulder. If I find that they're keeping the arms straight out to the side, it really feels painful for the shoulder, then I'm just going to allow the arm to swing a little bit shallower, a little bit forward to the sideline to make sure that I can still move the arm. It doesn't feel painful for the shoulder, and it still feels like a nice, smooth movement. And then same as I did before, I know that my right shoulder is a bit stiffer, so maybe the movement will be a little bit smaller on that side. 3, 2, 1, and easing back, giving the shoulders a little bit of a roll. And then same as I did for the front raise, I'm going to try both arms together. So I'm going to go for a nice big swing around the side, coming up, and then taking it back. So think of a nice snow angel. So I'm going to wave the arms out and then gradually bring them back. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And releasing back, relaxing the shoulders, releasing the arms. And then I'm going to change the direction one more time. We're going to start adding some spinal rotation as well, some back movement. So if you're laying down, I want you to roll over onto your side. Setting yourself into that sideline position for opening and closing doors. So the knees are bent directly in front of the hips, so the shins are nice and level to the front of the mat. The bottom arm, I'm going to pull it so far forward that I'm resting onto the back of the shoulder. Then if my head comfortably sits on the floor, then I'm going to keep it on the floor. If it doesn't, I'm just going to use a blanket, a pillow, anything to bring the head up slightly. And then focusing on the top arm and the shoulder. I'm going to start taking the arm up. Make sure that you're not twisting the shoulder. I'm going to turn the rib cage to face the ceiling, and then I'm going to think of spreading the arms out nice and wide. Then I'm going to ease my way back and then try it again. If you're seated, you're going to pick one arm. It doesn't matter if it's the right or the left, you're going to do both. I'm going to raise that arm up, turn the palm to face towards the ceiling as if I was holding a glass of water in my hand. And then I'm just going to turn my rib cage, turn the arm, see how far back I can reach with that hand without dropping my glass. Then I'm going to ease it back to the front, and then I'm going to repeat it again. So see if I can encourage that nice rotation through. And then I'm going to come back. The head is still sitting on top of the shoulder, making sure that the chin doesn't start poking forward. I'm not hunching over. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And releasing back, relaxing the shoulders, releasing the back. If you're laying down, I want you to roll over onto the other side and setting yourself on the other side. So tucking the knees directly in front of the hip. Bring the bottom arm straight forward, so you're resting on the back of the shoulder. You're lying down on the side. The head supported if you feel that you need that support. And then taking the top arm up, and then I'm going to try and open up wide. Easing back, and then try it again. If I'm seated, again, carrying the glass onto my other hand, I'm going to balance it on the palm of my hand, turn, and see how far back I can take the glass without tipping it over. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And raising back, raising the shoulders, relaxing the arm, a little bit more movement into the shoulder joint, and some movement into the back. I'm going to stay with the back, and this time I'm going to focus on a little flexion extension. So starting from the neck, moving into the upper back. If I'm seated, I don't need my hands on the head, as the head is on top of the shoulder. If I'm lying down, I might want to place the hands behind the head to offer a little support for the neck, so I'm not straining the neck. I'm going to tuck the chin down towards the chest, and then I'm just going to round the upper back, curling the shoulders, curling the upper back. Then I'm going to release my way back out, sitting up nice and straight, and then I'm going to try again. Tucking the chin, feel the back of the neck lengthening. Curling the shoulders, feel the upper back flexing, rounding a little bit more, and then I'm going to uncurl my way back up again. So if you're lying down, you're coming up with a little crunch. So I'm going to tuck the chin, lengthen through the neck, lift the head, lift the shoulders, curling my way up as far as the belly can take me, and then I'm just going to ease my way back down. 4, controlling up, controlling back, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And releasing back, giving the head a gentle roll, adjusting the shoulders, adjusting the back. From flexion, I'm going to focus on to extension, so going the other way. I'm trying to open up as much as I can at the front. So if you're lying down, you can relax the arms down by the side. If you want a little bit more opening, you can keep the hands to the back of the head and really trying to push down with the elbows as the chest lifts up. Just make sure that there is no pain in the shoulder. So I'm going to send the rib cage forward, see if I can try and pull it away from the ground, and then I'm just going to ease my way back. So I'm going to try and open up, lift, and then release it back. If you're standing, if you're seated, I can keep the arms down and then just trying to lift and open up through the front of the chest. If you feel comfortable enough taking the hands to the head, I'm going to try and see if I can lift and open up through the chest, and at the same time see if I can try and spread the elbows nice and wide, see if I can encourage more space at the front of the shoulder, more lift at the front of the chest. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, last one, 10. And releasing back, relaxing the shoulders, again adjusting the shoulders, adjusting the back. And then from extension, I'm going to go into lateral flexion. So allowing the arms to come down by the side. Again, if I'm down on the mat, I might want to support my head with one hand. So again, the neck doesn't need to strain to take the weight of the head. And then I'm just going to start reaching down one side. As far down as I feel stable, as far down as I can feel the side of the belly tensing, preventing me from falling over. And then I'm just going to pull my way back. And I'm going to flex down the other side. And then pull back. Trying to keep, if you're seated, think of the back of being against the wall. So making sure that my shoulders are on the wall as I move from side to side. I'm not suddenly leaning forward. I'm not pulling away from the wall. If you're lying down, you've got the mat, you've got the floor to guide you. So I'm just going to keep my back against the mat as I flex it down one side, easing my way back to the center, switching the hands over and then flexing the other way. So feeling the tension down the side of the belly, pulling you down as you flex to the right, feeling the tension on the left side of the belly, pulling you down as you flex and reach to the left. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and releasing back. Easing the shoulders, relaxing through the shoulders, releasing through the belly, through the side. And then I'm going to see if I can focus a little bit more down into the lower back. So starting off with a little pelvic tilt, I'm going to tilt the pelvis back, pressing the lower back gently into the mat. And then I'm just going to rock the hips forward back into neutral. So tilting and then releasing the tilt. Same as usual, think of that nice gentle massage. The hips are rocking gently forward and back. I'm not forcing, I'm not pushing hard, I'm not stiffening, I'm trying to keep it as loose as possible. If you're seated, think of the same movement. Just make sure that it's in the lower back. So I'm going to rock back onto my tailbone and then try to sit nice and tall over the seat bones again. Rock back onto the tailbone and then nice and tall over the seat bones again. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and releasing back, relaxing into the hips and releasing into the lower back. And then we're going to move into a little hitch, side to side. So I'm going to hitch up on one hip. See if I can pull the hip up towards the rib cage and then drop back, hitch up on the other side and then drop back. So if I'm seated, I'll end up kind of like walking my seat bones up and down the chair. If I'm laying down, think of the back of the hips are staying flat against the floor. You're just going to try and pull up on the right hip. The pelvis will swing slightly to the right. Pull up on the left hip, the pelvis will swing slightly to the left. So think of like a little pendulum going from side to side. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And easing back, adjusting the hips, adjusting the lower back. When you're ready, if you're laying down, rolling over onto one side, and in your own time, pushing yourself up into sitting. As usual, find a comfortable position for the legs, something that allows you to sit reasonably upright. So leaning against the wall, the sofa, just something that is not going to slide off and let you fall, using the arms as a little support if you need to. And then focusing on the chest, focusing on the front of the body, see if you can create that nice lift at the front. I'm going to push the chest forward, roll the shoulders back, drop them down, and then I'm going to try and lift the breastbone as if I was trying to hook it up on the ceiling. I'm going to look forward, I'm going to look up, I'm going to look back, and then I'm going to release, letting the chin drop down to the chest and the shoulders come forward. I'm going to roll my way down towards the ground, and then uncurling back up again. As much space at the front of the body as I can, pushing the rib cage forward, rolling the shoulders back and down. Send the breastbone up and towards the ceiling, looking forward, looking up, looking back. And then release and coming forward, rolling your way forward, rolling your way down. One more time. Coming up, the biggest lift I possibly can, shoulders back, drop them down, lifting through the chest, looking forward, looking up, looking back. And releasing back to the front. One hand to the belly, one hand to the back. Take your back, give yourself a back.